7. Ridiculous things that make no sense to women. While most people accept certain behaviors and societal norms without giving them much thought, Sigma women can't help but question the rationale behind them. These independent thinkers often perceive the world differently, and some things that seem totally normal to others just don't add up for them. From trivial social rituals to puzzling everyday practices, Sigma women often find themselves scratching their heads at what everyone else readily accepts as normal. And if you're a Sigma, you'll definitely resonate with these 7 ridiculous things that just don't make sense. The depth behind the silence. When people think you're boring just because you're quiet, it's weird how folks quickly judge others based on how much they talk, right? Some people think that if you're quiet, you must be boring. But who came up with that? Being quiet doesn't mean you're dull. Actually, it's often the opposite. You're a deep thinker who likes listening and soaking up information. Silence isn't empty. It's usually packed with thoughts, reflection, and a lot of creativity. It's where ideas grow and mature. While some people find silence awkward, you find it comforting and essential. You don't feel the need to fill every moment with chatter just to make others comfortable. Why do you have to be loud to be interesting? That doesn't make sense to you. A quiet person might have fascinating hobbies, sharp wit, or profound insights. Just because you don't share everything doesn't mean you don't have anything valuable to say. You thrive on meaningful conversations, preferring depth over noise. You pick your moments to speak, and when you do, it's with intention and clarity. Quiet people often have a rich inner life. You could be thinkers, dreamers, or even adventurers in subtle ways. The quiet ones usually have the most engaging stories. You just share them with the right people. You value substance in a few well-chosen words over a flood of empty talk. Whether you're seen as quiet or loud, boring or exciting, you have nothing to prove to anyone. Living free from strangers' opinions. All right, next up is worrying about being judged by strangers. Remember when you were a kid and didn't care if you were covered in mud, had messy hair, or sang out loud in public? You keep this carefree attitude as an adult. It's not about breaking rules or being rebellious. It's about being yourself without apologies. Think about how freeing it would be not to stress over appearances or fitting in. That's the mindset. You walk down the street. Someone gives you a weird look. Do you spend the rest of the day worrying if your outfit was off or your haircut was bad? You just shrug it off. Random opinions don't shake your confidence. What really counts is how you see yourself and how your close friends and family see you. Imagine being at a party and stressing if everyone will like you. You don't bother with that. Why should you need everyone to like you? Not everyone needs to be your friend, and that's totally okay. Chasing approval from strangers is pointless. You'd rather be real and true to yourself than try to impress people you'll never see again. Even on social media, where people obsess over likes, comments, and followers, you find it puzzling. Why should some random person's opinion matter more than your own happiness? For you, it's simple. Live your truth and let others think what they want. The real you is way more important than a polished version that's designed to please others. Imagine how much energy you'd save if you didn't care about getting approval from strangers. You focus on being happy and authentic. You trust your gut and surround yourself with people who value you for who you are. Whether someone likes you or not doesn't affect your self-worth or your day. You're not living for others. You're living for yourself. Shunning trends. Embracing individuality. Ever heard that saying? We buy stuff we don't really need with money we don't actually have to impress people we don't even like. It's from Dave Ramsey's book, The Total Money Makeover, and it totally calls out how crazy materialism and consumerism are today. People take out loans, max out credit cards, and get deep in debt for fancy clothes, flashy cars, and luxe vacations. All just to show off on social media or impress folks they barely know. They chase those wow moments and temporary admiration from people who don't even matter. They end up broke for brand names. acting like flaunting labels will earn them respect. You just don't get it. Why go all out and spend loads of money to impress people who don't even know the real you? This scream desperation and insecurity. Two things you avoid at all costs. Swapping financial peace for short-lived praise is pointless. True happiness and self-worth are worth way more. You don't need to splash cash to shine. Real fulfillment comes from inside, not from seeking approval from others. Just because society calls it normal doesn't mean it sits right with you. You do your own thing, questioning stuff others accept without thinking. There's no need to follow the crowd or prove anything to anyone. Fancy things don't do it for you. What really counts are integrity, smarts, and being your unique self. So, when you see people buying unnecessary things just to get compliments or likes on social media, you can't help but shake your head. You're cutting through the fluff. Do you find it funny how people spend so much time on those small, meaningless social niceties? Like, why go back and forth with long emails full of introductions when all you need is to confirm plans? It seems a bit silly to me. Why not just get straight to the point? Why use extra words when you don't have to? It's like people throw in all these extra fluffs just to sound nice, or to make sure that it's full of unnecessary words. Isn't all about keeping things simple and honest, not fancy. It's like there's this unwritten rule book everyone follows where you need to say and do certain things just to fit in. But you don't really dig all that fluff. You prefer genuine connections and real talk. Why bother with asking, "How are you?" if you don't really care about the answer, or pretend to be interested in the weather just to fill the silence? Why go through the motions of empty chit-chat when you could have a genuine conversation instead? You'd rather cut to the chase. When you thank someone, you mean it, not just because it's expected. Skip the fake smiles and shallow exchanges and focus on what truly matters. It's not about being impolite or disrespectful. You just see past the surface stuff and get right to the heart of things. Quality conversations matter more to you than a bunch of small talk. Do you really want to spend your time repeating the same old things to everyone, or have some meaningful chats with a few close folks? You're all about the latter. You see the world a bit differently and don't see the point in following traditions that don't make sense. Moving on and starting fresh. How many guys do you know who've taken back someone who broke their heart, only to end up hurt again? Too many, right? After a breakup, some dudes can't get their ex out of their head. They keep replaying memories, sometimes even stooping to begging for another chance. They hope things will be different this time, but it usually just ends up the same. You just don't see the point. Why go back to someone who clearly doesn't appreciate you? Actions speak louder than words. If someone broke your heart once, chances are they'll do it again. You'd rather move on and surround yourself with people who truly value you. Going back is like picking at a scab. It might feel familiar, but it'll only hurt again. You live by the motto, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." No second chances for those who've already shown their true colors. Dwelling on the past just blocks your road to future happiness. There are plenty of people out there who are genuinely worth your love and attention. You keep pushing forward, using the past as a lesson but not letting it dictate your future. It's just foolish to repeat the same mistakes and expect a different result. Going back to an ex is like hoping a bad book chapter will magically improve on a second read. It's a dead end. You simply turn the page and start a fresh chapter. Respect for yourself and holding on to your dignity mean more than hanging on to a past that's done you wrong. Breaking free from trend tyranny. Why do folks just blindly follow trends, huh? Just because something's all popular doesn't mean it's automatically good or right. Sometimes it feels like people are just too scared to stand out or be different, so they end up just following the crowd, right? Do you worry too much about what others think? While it's cool to keep an open mind, you shouldn't just jump on the bandwagon. Take a sec to question, analyze, and form your own opinions. You're an independent thinker, not easily swayed by all those passing fads or peer pressure. Trends. They come, they go, But your own values and beliefs? They stay rock solid. Look at fashion trends, for instance. 1 minute, ripped jeans are all the rage. Then it's all about those sleek, tailored pants. But who cares, right? You rock what you like, what feels comfy, not what some influencer says is hot or attractive. Mindlessly following trends often ends up with you feeling regrets. Next thing you know, you've got a closet full of clothes you're not even feeling, gadgets you don't even want, or photos you'd rather just forget about. That's why you prefer to keep a low-key vibe, dodge all that unnecessary attention. It's way cooler to be the observer than to be the one always in the spotlight. Navigating the digital landscape. Ever notice how people tend to think if something's on the news or pops up in a Google search, it's automatically true? But hey, just because it's online doesn't mean it's legit. The internet is flooded with fake news and misinformation, yet some folks just take it all in. Not you, though. You've got that natural skepticism and a knack for digging deeper. When you spot something online, you're quick to double-check its credibility. Remember, some folks out there have their own agendas and twist things to fit their narrative. And hey, anyone can post anything online without fact-checking. Unlike those who fall for clickbait, you prefer reliable sources like trusted news or expert opinions. Sometimes a quick Google search won't cut it. Certain topics need more thorough investigation and critical thinking. Those internet rumors? Like the whole 2012 world-ending hype or the TV blindness myth? You just brush those off, always asking, "Where's the proof?" You're not one to buy into myths just because everyone else does. Even those product reviews can be sneaky. Some companies pay for fake positive reviews, but not you. You give the bad reviews a read and sniff out the genuine ones. You're after the truth, not some sales pitch. Believing everything online? That can lead to some bad calls, fake health tips, dodgy financial advice, scams everywhere. You take online info with a pinch of salt, rely on common sense, and fact-check before you decide on anything, be it a purchase or forming an opinion. It's crucial to remember that not everything we encounter online is truthful or reliable. Emphasize the significance of verifying information from credible sources, questioning narratives, and being cautious of misinformation. By encouraging fact-checking, reliance on trusted sources, and critical analysis, you remind us to navigate the vast sea of online information with discernment and wisdom. In a world where misinformation can spread rapidly, this serves as a reminder to stay vigilant, curious, and always driven by a pursuit of truth.